Okay. So I think I'm live on both. There we go. So tonight we're playing OE2. It's been a very long work day, long couple days actually, and so I'm gonna be just kind of relaxing and doing some things. I've got to take a load of resources out to our construction site, and then I need to sit down and really review my colonies, mainly to get stuff cooking for them. So I am going to be doing that tonight for the commodities, um, just kind of showing the gameplay. Probably going to do a little bit of mining to get some more of the heavy alkali metals, just because we need a lot more of that, and we're not getting that as fast as everything else. And we're really looking at getting this space station up just to show you where everything is at in the system and how you can see that there are a lot more people playing the game. You've got a lot more colonies that are starting to build out. We've got some up here, and then we have stuff coming down in here as well. So the Galaxy is really showing growth in um, in the number of testers testing the server. I think one of the biggest complaints that we've been hearing is something that will not really be an issue um, once the game goes live. And it may even happen before the game goes live. Right now, it is browser based, and browsers have limitations. And one of the limitations is that you do have to have this in active view. I, for me, my workaround is I game from home. Um, so I have a browser on each window. Another option that I have done when I'm doing my work and just need to have it on the side is I actually will have this as partial, and then I'll have another browser set up. So that is also a way to keep it in the open active. And I understand it's a frustration and it's a pain point, but this is alpha. We are in alpha 4, but it is still an alpha, and that's just one of the pain points. But once it goes into the Steam, being a Steam download, or if it does end up being a PC um, launch from a website, then you're not going to have that problem because it'll be a download. Same with on mobile apps. Um, so just kind of the patience and just knowing the limitations of the browser. Uh, with that said, really quick, be sure to add Outer Empires 2 on your Steam wish list. The faster that we hit their markers of needs, the faster we can get this as a test from on Steam. So we need to show Valve that it's an important game, or it's something that everybody wants. We have heard a lot of uh, positive things about it. There are some definite pain points, some things that have been mentioned way back in pre-alpha as pain points, but it took more players sensing the same thing for it to really be knowledge that it is a quality of life pain point. And that's just the way things go with any testing is sometimes when you only have a handful of people, one person saying it, oh, hello, unicorn. Um, One person saying it is not going to make as much of a difference as when you hear it from like 30. That's just the way things are. So, um, I don't know if Laura saw the amount of my job that I just snagged right there. It was a nice one. I don't get them very often. I'm gonna get those for when I get back. It's, it was for, I mean, I'm gonna have to, it's a big carry. It's 7,400, and I have to make it a few jumps, but it will be a 50, yeah, it'll be a 50 some odd K job payout. But um first off, non-gov space does pay 25% more. I also have skills that pay me a little bit higher. But most importantly, it's the quality of like the resource. If it's a rare quality or rare find resource and you need a lot of it and you're making several jumps, it's obviously going to pay better. Um, so that's something to look at. Also with these jobs, these are just computer generated jobs. And so when players start being able to post jobs, they can post them for how much they want, and then you can decide whether it's what you want to take on or not. So that's always something to take in consideration that things may not be paying out very well, but players that are testing see that things don't play out very well can adjust that when they start posting their own jobs. So, yes. So, right now, the other part was the long flight times, which just makes me giggle because my flight times are a minimum of 3 minutes. Um, Usually in this ship itself, it's not as bad. If I'm completely loaded down, then it's about 6 to 7 minutes of a flight time. But when I'm using my prime mover, if I don't have the cargo pods on it right now, so I can't fully load it down. But when my prime mover has cargo pods and is fully loaded down, the mass gets pretty significant and it can be 16-minute flight times across systems. The strategic mover is always like at least a 10-minute flight. So the bigger the ship, the slower it flies. I would love to see an addition of different sized engines and different sized thrusters for those heavy ships. Um, so I think that there needs to be like specific. So if you're flying something that is a heavy power hungry ship, say a military ship or a mining ship, that they should be able to have bigger reactors on them, just like you would put a different battery in your car if you have a V6 engine. Um, and then, the ability to tow things, so the cargo ships and the mining and maybe even the salvage for having those thrusters that can handle and get up and go. But I know that that's a little bit more tweaking because you're asking for it not to be put on ships that can't fit it. I do know it's possible because we have ore hoppers that can only be put on ships that are mining related. So same with mining lasers. So unlike military where you can put weapons on any ship because you could obviously come into contact with PvP out in government space, non-government space, sorry. Um, you need weapons on every ship. Um, there are some ships that you can only put specific things on. I would honestly, I would end up loving. I would hate it at the same time, but I would honestly love it if scanners didn't go on any ships outside of like those beginner ships that you need it on, but then just the ones that are specifically designed for scanning. And I know that a lot of people would get upset at that, but that's just my personal feeling. Is if those ships are scan ships, then that's what they should be used for. That's what the parts should be used for. Um, but that's all up to Paul on how he wants to design things. I put it in a feature request, but I know that that would get a lot of backlash, so I won't do that. So right now I'm gonna go to my one last station that I have up here um, before and refuel before I jump down, um, just because I have a huge phobia of running out of gas. So I pretty much stop at every refueling station that I can. I also take that time to do the minor repairs, which are currently available in the game. I don't know how long it's going to be that way, but currently you can repair in outposts. Um, and the sooner you repair, the cheaper the overcost is, and the more it goes back up to the maximum repair. If you let it go for longer, then you're going um, like each repair is off of that amount. So it rolls that percentage each time you jump. So, yes, the lures, the unknowns. There are two ways to get initiated into the game of Outer Empires. The first is leaving cargo behind, and the second is by forgetting to refuel. Everybody does it at some point in time. It happens to everybody. So, I probably, I don't want to have this all the way up. Hang on. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I need that. And that so that I can um let's see here. I need to go to my sheets. And my commodity list so that I can start these things cooking. Gotta see what I have already cooked up because I was cooking some the other day. I'll just have to go and pick them up, but I don't remember what I've cooked and what I haven't cooked. So we just gonna go check. There we go. Alrighty. They're done. Alrighty. Yeah, Lors, you just love to run out of fuel. Oh, and by the way, for those that saw my rescuing ship, there was a bug at the time, and so you couldn't see the coupler extend. We can actually do that, like that bug has been fixed. So um, we may have to rescue somebody to show what it actually. You're you're not distance curious. You're distance challenged. It's challenged. Uh, let's see. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the cat who can't figure out how to go back down. That's all. That's all. It's not too far up. It's just the fear of coming back down. Alrighty. Let me go down and drop off this load and Lawsy can see how close we are getting. We're getting really freaking close. It's just the noble gas that needs to be brought down. Is kind of where our holdup is. We all they have that in the heavy alkali metals that I need to go and retrieve. So, all right. Let's see. Do I have anything? I have stuff building. Okay, so I've been there. So, and then to this one. Then I've started a structure there. And come over here. And then here. Structure going. And I have a jump. Dang it. It's not fast enough. Oh, this is a long jump. Oh, wow. I landed like right next to the construction site. I don't think I've landed that close before. Getting really close to the 80%. It's that noble gas that's our holdup. That's the holdup. All right, we're going to start flying back that way, which it'll jump immediately. So I'm not even going to try to check my colony because it just needs to be transferred. It needs to be flown down. It's either that or if it's close to sign, maybe you should just sell it to me and I take it in my prime mover. It would end up pumping some money into your bank account too if we did it that way. I'm just I'm just thinking I didn't want to do it with like the full 180,000, but you shouldn't be that high up anymore. But even then, I've got plenty of credits that I can give it to you. It just depends on how many loads you want to take in to sign and then sell it to me. But if you have it coming from Aleph, it shouldn't be that far of it. It's only a two jump. So would take you what, 6 trips? 5 or 6 trips total? And then I could just like repay you for the gas if you needed it. Okay. Structures, workers, that's what I was doing. Oh, you only have 25. Oh, you don't have the big cargo pod, so you can only take 25 at a time? Like, okay, hang on. I'm squirreling medical. 28. It has been a really long day. My brain is fried. It's just, then 32. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So it should only be like five trips to bring that up, which probably would just be better. All right. This should not need any structures. It should be done. So it should just be this, which I have those. Those are done. I need to go pick them up and take them down. And then on this one, we're cruising with the transuranic exotics. I don't think I have enough transuranic exotics, the transuranic volatiles to go into the exotics just yet, but we're really close. So I may only need another 2,000, so I might go mine that a little bit later as well. I might do a two mine. I might do the transuranic volatiles, do the math on that to figure out what those are. Let me see. Actually, I can do that math right now. So we have, um, let's just go with that too. So we're just going to do rough estimate times 5 divide by 50. 266. And I think we saw that it was like we had 500 left that was necessary. So yeah, I think if I do another, I think if I do another 2,000 or it should be really close. So we'll see. It'll at least get us a good place to start on that one. But the heavy alkali metals are our biggest, it's a big sticker point right now. So we have the noble gas there going. I have, oh, I'm out of the the alkaline earth metals are, I've got a mining, but I did have a whole bunch up here that was refining. So we'll see. I do have up here stuff that I think is waiting on the refineries. Like this has, but it's low quality, low purity. But I'm getting a refinery set up for that, so that'll help knock it out uh up here. So I'm slowly starting to get like the refineries going. So this one has heavy noble gases. It's the wrong noble gas, but we need it for, I don't understand why we don't have heavy noble gases um for the space station. We need it for star bases and outposts, and I we don't for star bases and or for space stations, and that confuses me, but we just go with it. So, um this one is going to be my refinery location. I'm going to start putting the overflow in there and just straight up refine in that station. So um, that's what it will be used for. Uh, let's see. We need in here. Do I have stuff going here? Yes. Okay. This needs the task links. But all of this that you see, the commodities, you can see how they can become a great place to earn money. They're very cheap to make. You only need anywhere between 1 to 3 of one type of resource and 1 to 3 of another type of resource, and then you make 10 at a time. So it's really nice to be able to just pop those out. Administration. There we go. Alrighty. Um, feel feel like there's a storm that's getting ready to come. The wind has picked up quite a bit. I didn't think we were supposed to get rain until Thursday evening, but Mother Nature's kind of making me wonder. Making me wonder. Wonder, wonder. Anyway, okay. Brainwave. 10. And you'll notice that this is calling for commodities, even though it's barely gotten started, right? It's barely gotten started. So you'll start needing those commodities immediately, almost immediately, like within the first day or two, um, just because these these structures here are high tech, and they'll require, or not high tech, well, yeah, high tech, they'll require a lot of stuff, but administration usually is what you find is end up needing. So they may be produced in other things. So like when you see the workers and they're calling for things that say research, um research is where it's produced. So that's the industry that you're asking for. So when you're talking to somebody, you'll want to say, "Hey, does anybody have a research production um, flat pack that they can build me research commodities?" Even though it's not the research division asking for it, it is the research that does the producing for it. So, um, what the heck was my workers? Oh, yeah, because I'm working on that right now. Then let's see on this one. This is going to be more of my noble gases. So this will be, once this starts refining, we'll start be able to see stuff in from, and that's only a two jumps. No, it may only be one jump. I think it's only one jump with my merchantman from the construction site, and this will be done, I think by tomorrow morning. Refinery. Oh, no, it'll be done. Yeah, it'll be done by tomorrow morning. So 14 hours. So mid-morning. When I'm in between my runs tomorrow, I will probably go ahead and start it refining. Um, but I already have some that are building up in there, so it'll be able to start refining it right away. Um, I don't know how much it pulls in an hour. Uh, Maybe it will tell me. Come on, baby, you can do it. We have faith in you. Okie dokie, let's try that again. There we go. So it's doing 20 an hour, so it should be fine with one refinery going. So, but it will start refining what I already have pulling right now, as soon as I put a worker, well, I mean, even before I put a worker in it, just as soon as I sign somebody. So I do have workers down there though, so I'll be able to have it running at 100% when I start it refining those noble gases. So some of the places I don't have workers in completely. I think I've put in workers in all of my colonies, even though I take the freeloaders present, because I do have enough housing and food set up for those to be there, and that way I can just go boom, boom, boom for the next couple of days without having to run out there um, with more workers. 30, what is that, 36? Okay. So, um, a lot of my colonies are getting really close to the point where they just need maintenance. The ones that are the brand new ones, like I built just 5 brand new ones, they're going to be a little wise before they're just maintenance. This one's all done and taken care of. And this one is one that it's got the super heavy exotics, and I'll probably be moving those out. I think I'm accumulating my super heavy exotics right now in sign. Um, I have them mining in several different colonies because they all pull at very low amounts, like 3 or 4 an hour. Uh, And so I just let it accumulate until we actually need to do the synthesis on them. And when we do the synthesis on them, because the one and two is needed quite often, um, so I want to have plenty built up because the first synthesis will take 50 at a time. The second synthesis takes 20 of the synthesized. So you start narrowing it down really quick and fast. And it's something that you kind of have to keep in the back of your mind. So that's something I always, even if it's small amounts, things that are going to be synthesized, I will go ahead and mine them, and just let them accumulate. And then as soon as Lors lets me know that he needs a synthesized um, resource, then we'll jump on that. With that said, um, I also have to keep in mind that we are eventually, I don't know if we'll make it before beta. I would love to say we will, but I don't know if we will. We would definitely love as a faction to be able to make a a star base. They are extremely expensive to build. They are very time consuming to build. So we attempted to do it in um, the Alpha 1 and 2 test. We just ran out of time. And this time I have different goals for our faction and for the testing, with our biggest goal being making sure that the new testers have what they need to be able to fully test the different fields and really get a feel on what everything is. So our goal has switched from what our we achieved what our original goal was, which is to create the stepping stones outside of government space for people to use and get out of government space, and to create a very high profitable way of doing that. We also made sure that we had a way for people to build ships outside of government space. Those were our goals. Was we wanted to have them stepping stones and we wanted them to be able to build ships. While they can't build class 7 and class 8 yet, they can build 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in our space station that we currently have in Sign. They can repair those ships there. They can swap out scans there. So that was our big goal. We wanted to make sure that we took care of all of the new testers coming in and gave them a way to get in and start building on their own. And the jobs that are outside of government space, they pay 25% more. We have created an entire stepping stone to get out of government space. AOA has always had um, the individuals, like the individual pilots, in mind, and people who are wanting to grow and expand. Um, Lors, who is the chief of operations for our faction. He is a veteran, and he remembers how difficult it was to be able to get out and how nice it was to have that pathway, to be able to get out and expand and create. Um, and we knew that the outposts were not be supposed to be anything other than refueling stations, so we built accordingly. That was our main goal. So since we have achieved our main goal, our secondary goal now is to take care of the new pilots coming into the game who need the ships and the components, etc. In um, and don't have the credits yet because it is very difficult at the very beginning, especially now that things are license locked. So we don't ever charge more than 1 credit for our faction members, um, to be able to get what they need. As far as people who we work with, if we are allied together, then we won't charge more than 1 credit. If we do, it's usually a tit for tat. So we'll sell this to you, if you'll go and do this for us. We're going to have the same type of thing in live game. We've got some jobs for you. Can you do those jobs? And then we'll sell them to you. So basically, we're paying you um, the money that you would end up needing to put that ship part on your ship. So we'll have dedicated jobs and dedicated tasks that we will need from those type of pilots. So we will always make sure things work out. We are as far as the leadership, the people who are under us in their different um, they're different departments. So like we have our plan is to have multiple people who do research, multiple people who do manufacturing, multiple people who do commodity productions. We do not limit them to like, hey, we expect you not to charge out the wazoo. We don't want to be price gouging. If we find you price gouging, you will find yourself without an AOA tag. Um, but we're not going to expect them to only charge one credit, right? Because that's the whole point in this game is to be able to be contributing, etc. But as far as Lors and I being the faction leaders of AOA, our position is to make sure that people who are brand new to the game get a fair shake and a fair start, especially since it is a very difficult grind until you have those starter ships. Once you get them, once you get going and you really get moving, I would easily say once you hit like level 10 and things, starting to charge normal market price is a lot more reasonable because you've come across those credits. We will cross that bridge when we get there. We've not really moved towards that so far. Right now, our main focus is those pilots getting them up to level 10 in all of the aspects, and then making sure that they have a chance to play around in um, whatever field they may want to go into. Um, we just don't like anything being gate kept. That's kind of our big thing. So, for those who are wondering how AOE runs, that is how we run. Um, that is why a lot of things have slowed in what you see from us because our main goal was to get to where we are currently at. Um, so, well, I see that that hasn't been fixed yet. Okay, all of my other ones got fixed. But we are now pretty much on free roll. We'll continue to expand and work just because I want to make sure that pilots have a chance to see what it's like putting resources into stations. Um, so we'll definitely get that. We definitely want pilots to be able to see what it's like to scan. So we definitely want to keep building out for them to be able to do that. Oh, but as far as everything else, it's not as rushed for us. What am I what am I refining? Am I doing more alkali organics? Is that what I am refining? Why do I feel like that? Yes. I think this is my I think this is my one moment. One moment. Yeah, this is the one that went from 192 to 236. FYI, it went from 192 to 236, Lors. Okay? If you need alkali and organics, I'm your woman. I got you. I'm your huckleberry. We got it. I got you. I got you. Frickety frack. Because I don't even think 9 is enough. Um, no, it is not. That's cool. That's that's honky dory. Okay. Well, we'll just start one more refinery because why not? Do I have enough power? 79, 88, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I need a reactor there before I do it. Okay. We'll pause on that one. You get to just sit without a refinery because I need a reactor there. Um, but we're already at 175,000 in that column. Yeah, Okay. 36. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Okay. Um, 27. And then what I was gonna even look, forgot to look on here. I think so. It's a common. Um, so it's like that's my problem is I'm finding loads and loads of stuff that are common elements, which that's why they're common. Um, and they're needed a lot of, just not that much of. So as soon as game goes live, it won't be a problem because I can sell and we can sell them off. But right now we don't really have enough testers in the game to sell off. Why is my acidic? Oh, because that's two different. Okay, never mind. I'm fine. All right, so we have the trans metals there. Strong, strong. What else was heavy trans up there? Okay, so and then workers. All right, and then go down. Have stuff working there. Mm, and um, there. Okay. Um, Holomap units. Okay. Silver Fall. That one should be done. Yes. Rock miner drones. And that's me. 37. And then last one but not least. Alrighty. Mhm. All right, now before I go anywhere, we're going to go assets and we're going to make sure we have commodities. Oops. Well, we have commodities everywhere, so I need to go get those commodities before I go anywhere. Because I'm going to want to make sure that I count them in my stuff. So we're going to go up to those three locations before we load those in. So I'm going to quickly do jobs and see what jobs are here. Why? Yeah, maybe I'm gonna restart my game because it looks like that is frozen. Weird. Actually, it'll probably clear itself when I jump. So, like, nope. Well, that doesn't work. Okay, we may have to clear our cache first. Load that up and that up. And then we'll fly. Is it just the 4 and 1? Okay. So what you saw here is basically another one of the browser limitations things. I refreshed my browser before I started playing, but I forgot to clear the cache before starting. So uh, that is like it builds up stuff over time. So I just make sure that when I've been idle for a while, that when I go back into game that I close this out and I'll just like open another tab here and go in here and I'll go clearing cache, and then I'll close this even though I'm in flight, right? It's fine. When I restart it will be back in flight because I'm not doing the autopilot. So this is new. It didn't used to show everything that it was loading, the resources. I don't know when that showed up, but it's been within like the last day or two. So, and then I was gonna mine tonight. I probably will mine a little bit later tonight. Because I think what I'm going to do is I have to run an errand probably in about an hour. Um, and when I get back, I think I'm probably going to stream Godforge a bit, uh, which is another game that I am testing with our Atlas Gaming. Um, and I am one of their content creators. So I will be I will be streaming that. Um, I oh, that's not good. Okay, there we go. All right. So it did stop once it got jumped into. And so then I have to just reselect where I'm going, which is 4. But anyway, it is um I will stream probably tonight, but then this weekend I will be actually making a video for it. So it will be more, it will not be streamed, it will be recorded, and then I will be uploading it to my YouTube. So for those who watch my Twitch or YouTube as for just OE, just know that there are other things that do go up. I just try to make sure that I am very clear when I'm doing something for my Atlas Gaming, and then when I am doing stuff for OE2. OE2 obviously is my main squeeze, and it's going to be what's very primary. But I am a gamer at heart, and I am not a solo gamer. So right now we're going up to collect commodities, and then I'm going to go to sign. I'm going to take jobs along the way to pay for the gas, but I'm going to go up to sign. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the storage crate systems that are in the stations. Um, I like to use storage crates to organize some of my things. They're a hot mess express at the moment. Um, but uh, when I get a chance to just sit and really go through it, I have a lot on my plate at the moment. But when I have a chance to go through it, then I'll have everything reorganized where I'll have all of my resources in specific crates so that if they're inert or if they're uncommon, if they're um, that type of stuff. I had it earlier where all of the resources, while we were squirreling away for the space station, we actually didn't even start the construction until we were very close to 50% done with collecting of the resources. So I had actually moved those resources into a crate so I didn't see them when I just automatically was in. So, uh, yeah. So that's a thing. Alrighty, so my warehouse, I need to move those over because they're not what I need there. Alrighty, so that one was one, and then I thought the other one was one M3. Nope, I don't have an M3. Was it one M1? Yes. So as far as I know right now, colonies can only go on planets and moons. Um, but you can mine asteroids, but I don't think you can build a colony on them. It doesn't show me an ability to dock. It just shows me an ability to mine. So, I do believe planets and moons are the only ways. Planets, they have different types, like rocky ice, Vulcan. If it says giant or if it says dwarf, like down here, that's a size. So it's an ice planet, but it's a giant ice planet, which means it likely has two or three slots available. I have come across a couple of large that only have one slot, which is really odd. But the dwarf is small. You normally only find one slot on them. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll find two. Moons generally only have one or two slots. It depends on the size of the moon. And you won't see, like, on the moon, it will say the same thing. Um, I don't think these are special sizes, but and the type does matter. Um, the we're still pulling in the information on kind of what type pulls in specific types of resource, or well, not specific, is more likely to have specific types of resources. But the type and the sun type play huge factors into that GSI. Um, so we won't spoil the surprise. We are going to let you guys figure out which types are more likely to have a high GSI. So, there we go. Pull you over now. I'm going to take off. These warnings, I personally feel, should not be so sensitive, because I am not anywhere near a warning level. It just means that there are repairs that could be done on them. Um, but uh, that's that's a minuscule thing. I may look at putting that feature request in once we go live, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much I just personally, um, when I look at it, I think that something is wrong because I see a warning sign, but it means that just any repair amount can be done, even if that repair amount is only like a percentage of a percent. So, like on this one, it's at 77% and it can go up to 78. So, like, it's just not, it's not something that I would view as a warning. That's fully, and even when you look here, it says fully operational. If it says fully operational, I don't see a need for a warning. Um, I think maybe uh, there's got to be some other way we can word it. I don't remember what else had a warning on it. So my thrusters, what else had a warning? I thought it was the hull, but oh, wait, yeah, it is the hull. 77 to 78, and the thrusters are 75 to 77. So that's 2%. So we're gonna dock here. Also, all of these GNN articles, they will be going up in my blog. I was working on many of them um, before, and then my kids came and I ended up getting um, squirreled. Side quests. Side quests came up. I've been busy making bread and meals and doing dishes, all of the dishes. So that will go up on the blog. Um, so that is the main site. And then at the top of the site, it says Atlas Gaming News. That is the blog. And it will have uh, mostly stuff from Outer Empires too. But when you go there, you'll be able to see on the Atlas Gaming News, when you click on it, you can actually see the featured photos will be very clear on what has to do with OE and what has to do with our gaming corp. We are in several games. Not all of them are led by me. Um, some of them have other leaders from our gaming corp, and they don't all have AOA. So AOA is just our faction for OE2. Um, we've had um, we have BSSI and Eve BSRI. Um, that's led by one of the people in our well, is led by one of the people in our corporation or our gaming group. Um, but we also have several other players in our gaming group that are in it. In Eve Echoes, where most of our members are members of Dead. So move everything over. Um, we are in Raid. I am in a separate faction altogether in Raid, Shadow Legends, and have a great clan there. Don't have any in like I don't have any desire to be in the leadership. I am a very active participant in there, but it's my place to just go and unwind. I don't do anything in the leadership. Um, I am in state of survival. I am also not in the leadership there. I was for a while and I stepped down. So not everything is something that like while I'm the leader of the our gaming group, I am not the leader in everything that we do. We just are a bunch of gamers that like to hang out and chill. So, uh, that I wanted a place that people could game at their pace, at their pleasure, and not feel like they're pushed to be online at a specific time or a specific date. Um, Sorry, I'm going to zoom out just because I love this system. I love the purples. Um, but I just like to kick back and enjoy. And so our Discord is even just called the Clubhouse, where you can. I want the feeling to be like after a long day at work, you come in, you raid the fridge, you sit down and you game. You know, that's kind of how I want it to feel. So uh, we do our own games. If we have several players in a game, we do have different channels for it. Um, we have it's been rough this month with all of my real life activities, but we do Sunday night movie night. where for a couple hours I'll just stream a movie that I have on Plex. We just kick back and relax. So it's just a fun place to be with no real rules other than don't be an ass. Long flights. It'll be a lot better when this game goes live and we have a lot more people doing research and production because right now we have to I got spoiled in the previous tests because I was the only one demanding Lore's time for the research and the production. Uh, and now I have to share. I'm not great at sharing. Uh, but there are some things that I will push just because it's faction specific. But for the most part, like my ship would be a lot better. I would probably have Evolution 6 parts on my ship by now. I have some that are high. You'll see where where it matters. The scanners, the jump drives, those part matter to be able to jump and to do things. But my thrusters and my nav comms, those are really low. But at this stage of Alpha 1 and 2, all of my parts were Evolution 7, 8. So it's just a lot different. We just have a lot different goals in this test than we did in the previous tests. So unfortunately, what it does mean is that my flight times are a lot slower. But then, I mean, once those players start getting up high again, I mean, we still have like 3 or 4 months before we're going to be looking at beta. So I'll be able to, we'll be able to start upgrading some stuff. I do know that Lors is doing a lot of testing on some things, and I don't want to push that because some of the stuff that he's testing is very vital for when game goes live. So, like I said, just very different goals in this test than in our previous tests that we had. So, um, just for those watching, what I was talking about earlier with the wanting to have goal or wanting to have steps for people to get out, um, you have the ability to create jobs all the way down here into this big down area here where you can go pretty much anywhere you want from here. But you can generate jobs all the way down there and get credits. Um, but most importantly, right here, right before you go into all of this bigger space where you're going to need the bigger jump drives and the bigger ships, you have that ability to build ships and have that market right there outside of government space. Um, and then when the stuff actually gets into game, I'm not 100% sure when it's coming. I know that Paul said it's coming. We just the timelines are kind of iffy. We will be able to set discounts and set rates. So we'll be able to set our own in our market because it's not government controlled. We will be able to set our own rates for the broker and the sales fees that people see. Um, so that's something to keep in mind with these space stations, these markets that we're building, is that when that comes into game, we can make things cheaper to post in the markets as people are going into that non-government space, which is, like I said, that was our goal for this test was to get these out there for everybody who's coming into the game in this Alpha 4 um, to be able to get all the way out. It'll probably be our initial goal in beta as well for all of those players coming in for the beta test. Depending on how long the beta test actually runs, will depend on how far we actually push it. Um, for the simple fact of if it is only like we've been testing since December, we've had this test open since December. So all of this was January to now. So you're looking like 4.5 months to be able to get this far. Um, and if our beta test is only about 4 months, then we obviously won't be able to push as far. So we'll see how long beta is open on exactly how far we can push for our goal, but we do have hopes that we'll be able to get the same length to be able to give people that out. So next does pretty much the same thing. They just do it on the opposite side. So, and their stations are further out, so you have to jump quite a bit before you actually start generating jobs in non-gov space. Um, but uh, they have the path out the other way. So, alrighty, I am at. I can still take on more, and I think I can do. This is actually lagging quite a bit. This is normally it doesn't lag that much. Um, so, however, they generally do API updates that speeds that up, and I haven't seen them done today. So that's probably a lot of that. I still have a yellow flag there. I should go see where it's to be picked up. So the filled in flags let you know that there is cargo still to be dropped off in that location. The empty flags let you know that you have a job to pick up. So I kind of bounce back and forth on dropping things off and picking things up. One, based on how much cargo space I have, and secondly, because of like what directions I'm doing stuff. When I go into jobs, I can see here that I have one that goes from Faye, which is up north, to Yestra. That was the 52 that I knew already ahead of time, and it's big, so I'll have to do it when I don't have very much in my cargo. So probably when I go drop off all of those commodities. So is probably when I will do that one. Um, with factions, just for people who are new, I can see the applicants I have here, all of the different people. I can adjust their ranks. I can view other factions, and you can see that we are really growing in our faction. Some are just solo players who have factions that if people want, then they can go and do the advertising in the OE2 Discord. If they want more people, you can see if they're recruiting or not. The grays are when they're not recruiting. Um, and then you can also just view like their information. So like you can read and see who they are. We are actually a lot like or the Spine Syndicate Black Spire Spine Black Spire Syndicate is actually a lot like us in the way they operate and what they're after. Um, but like the you got the London learners, they don't have a description at all. So looks like I was wrong on my assumption earlier. Lores. The Band of Misfits, you can see that they are actually a pirate faction. Their entire goal is to just be a pirate. So you may want to like mark them as red when the diplomacy becomes a thing, so that way you know that if they're in system, that it may not be a good thing, and you may want to have your shields on. Um, we have stars. This is 100. His faction will grow, but his main thing is making sure that people can get towed to stations when we have that ability in the game, which I know that that's coming really soon. But then they also will refuel. Um, and you can see on his uh what his faction is about. So you can always see, you can also see what the tax rates are being charged by other factions. I don't know how much I like that being visible by everybody. So like you can go in and see who is charging taxes and who isn't charging taxes just to be members. Um, then so I was gonna see, I knew that Neck last time charged taxes. I don't think anybody is this time. Oh, he is. Double stuff is 3%. So Basically, it just means that if anybody is in the faction with him, and even him, whenever he makes a sale on the market or when he completes a job, a percentage of his is then paid to the bank. What I don't know is if that's done like the shares and the worker payout, which is done once a day, or if it's like every time. So, not 100% sure how often that is, just because I don't want to. I view it as a right now, I view it as a penalty. I also don't feel like there's enough people in the faction to make that decision. I want that to be like a faction decision and have people's weigh in on exactly what they want to have done. Um, so that's just my personal opinion on the taxing, no taxation without representation type thing. I'm also from the United States, and I don't like how taxes are done and nobody gets any benefit from it. So that's that's that. I probably will grab that and do that one later. That one will be up top. That one is a good paying one up top. I'm just gonna let the rest of them sit. So we'll do those. All right. I've got to watch and make sure that I don't overshoot sign because I'm not looking at going past sign just yet. So, we also have our stations built very strategically so that some of them are within the jump bubble so that your countdown, like your only jump time, you don't have the long flight time. It's like the only wait time you have when you undock is the jump charge. Um, so that is to kind of make, again, we want this to be a stepping stone out. So we want you to be able to get jobs and get going and deliver those jobs and make money as fast as possible. So we have our stations placed strategically to allow that. So, like here, you'll see it's a long flight, but then the station is right next to that bubble. So you'll have a long flight to that station, but then you won't for when you jump again. You also can have more than one station in a system. So, like you've seen in government space in Kof Demorian, in Naltara, and in Savariak Sigma, they have four stations in there. One of them is a space station, the other four are outposts. You can do the same thing out in non-gov space. You can put up an outpost and create your stepping stones like you want, and then go back and start putting space stations in those systems um, that you have the space stations in. Um, Space stations and star bases and outposts, they all add points for ownership of the territory. So whether it's one color or another. So in your colonies, the number of structures is the number of points it takes. So if you have a maximum of 65, so if you have a maxed out colony, you have 65 points. As long as nobody else has something bigger than 65, you contain or you control that system. That system is considered your system, whether it's colonized because you have no faction or whether it's your faction with a tag. With outposts, it's 100 points. So if you have a colony somewhere that has a maxed out thing and then somebody else sticks a space station or not a space station outpost there, it automatically flips once it's constructed because they'll have 100 points and you only have 65. The only way to preempt that is to have a second colony in there um, with over 40 structures on it to flip it back. So that's how you can start controlling different territories and flip those colors on the map. It is also very it's deceiving in a way because you could have somebody put a space station in there and them like say it's an ally, uh, but they need to be hidden. Well, if there's plenty of moons or planets in that system, you have a different faction go in there and they build colonies all up, and as long as their colonies all exceed 100 points, their outpost is going to be hidden because yes, it's going to say that it's an outpost, but it's not going to tell you the correct faction that has control of that system. Okay. So these are all like things that you can think about, strategies that you can do, ways that you can work things. You can build packs and alliances, even shares. Like be like, if you hide my station, then I'll give your faction, one of your pilots in your faction will give you 25% of the shares, and you can benefit anytime somebody does a job there or repairs, or not repairs, but a few refuels there. So there's a lot of different things that you can do and aspects you can go. This is like such a sandbox game that it's ridiculous. Um, just different fun things that you can do that aren't really possible in other games. Um, like in Second Galaxy, which is where I'm coming from, if you have a system, you have all of the structures there. You have to contest it. You actually have to go to war to contest ownership of that system and to flip it. Um, Here you don't have to. If there's enough moons and planets, you can flip a system. So it's just knowing the points. I think it's 100, 300, 500. It's in one of my blog posts. I just can't remember which one it is for a patch note. It would be under the patch notes way back from from earlier. Paul just gave me permission to post all of the old patch notes, so I have everything from Alpha 2 up to now. I do not have anything from pre-alpha and 1, and unfortunately, we do not have access to those on Discord anymore, so I can't even put those up. If Paul gives them to me, then I can get them. I can get them posted. So just some fun facts. So we are getting closer to sign. Once we're in sign, I will show you the storage crates. I'm kind of recouping credits that I had to spend to fly down when I didn't have cargo space to be able to take on jobs, so I was free flying. All right. So I was talking to someone earlier. When you have a lot of jobs or a lot of scans and a lot to be turned in, sometimes it's easiest just to hit the move all. Then whatever's not supposed to be there will accumulate there and it won't be accepted. And then you can just do the move all to go back, right? So for me, that's super simple. I just make sure everything is going in the same direction, which it is. So, and I'm at 23 out of 33. I don't know that there's going to be any really good jobs going up. Sometimes this is where I start getting, oh, this one. I mean, it's crappy pay, but you can hitch a ride. Come hitch a ride. Um, Unfortunately, if you visit a station fast enough, it's not going to generate jobs. So, this is when I say this is where I start to get stuck. It's just because there are a few areas that I hit too often, that no jobs really refresh at the time. Again, this is just because it's computer generated jobs at the time. It is not, it is not player generated jobs. Um, so that will be different when you stop and you can actually see. There's also a reason on why you want to see how far a job is away, because you'll be able to start seeing those player jobs that people post. So let's say somebody posts a job in one of my players posts a job up here in Che, and it needs to go into government system, and they don't want to take it in there because they don't want to go into government system. If I'm going up there, then I could go ahead and pick it up and I could do it. Or maybe somebody's in government space and they're like right nearby, then they could go pick it up. But when you pick up the jobs, you'll start seeing that, like you'll be able to select a further distance away. Um, Um, and that's kind of what that is all about, is for when the player generated jobs are. Um, it's also when it says the to and the from. If you're already going to a place, you can kind of look for things like that. So, some things in the that are visible, they look like nonsense at the moment, but there is method to the madness. I haven't asked for a little while, but is there anybody who has any questions or anything that they'd like to add? Feel free to put it in the chat. More than welcome to do so. Oh Lord. But you'll also notice down here the times, they're a lot longer. If I went into my ship, you would see that my mass is starting to get up there quite a bit. Um, just because I have a lot of big, heavy mass. So like the exotics are always, if you have a lot of them, they're always super heavy. So this one, even though it says exotics and it doesn't have that high, it's very, very minimal. I don't even have, I have like 1600. So, but like all the rest you'll see are pretty high. So, let's see, this one is 4140. So this is the super heavy exotics. And then, yeah. So this one also is, it's a different exotic. So it's not, the transuranic is not as heavy as the super heavies, obviously, because it's called super heavy, you know. And this one is the same. These are synthesized though, so these are extremely rare. So these are the ones that you'd want to make sure that you protect. Oh, the wonderful long flight times. Long flight times. Mm, 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 mm. Alrighty. This one only has two, so I'm not going to do a move all for it. Let's see if I have any more that go up to lure sign. That one does. Not big payouts, but I'm going there anyway, so it's not that big of a deal for me. It really depends on what your mood is, whether you're looking to make money or whether you're just wanting to cover the gas bill. For me, I just want to cover the gas bill. Oh God. Why are you screaming at me? I know, I hear you. I I am pretty sure they can hear you on stream too. Yeah, yep, 100%. I apologize. I have a gizmo yelling at me. Yeah, go tell them. They're the ones making your food. I don't. Now the other one's coming out at me. Long flights. I love these fat cats acting like they're never fed. Yay, jumped. All right, we get to fly in. It'll be much better once I unload these super heavy exotics and the weight drops on my ship. It's the one downside of this game. If you guys have other things that you can do while playing this game, actually, this really is when I normally work on the website. So, um, I just, my brain is, it's hot outside and I can't even think right now. So, that is why tonight I am streaming. So, just kind of flying around and just blowing off some steam. It's a great game for that. I absolutely love it. So, um, obviously, there are some times when you do definitely have to strategize, as I've mentioned before, but for the most part, it's a very casual game. It's a very come and go game. It has the Eve feels without the Eve demand, as I word it. So, obviously, the game probably won't be so easygoing and casual when you got a lot more players in, unless you're in a section that's not heavy hitting. You'll have to really watch the sensor contacts to make sure that other players aren't in your system. If they are in your system, that they're blues. You can see here that all of my sensor contacts are NPCs. So, stellar bodies are the planets and moons, and sensor contacts are your NPCs or other players. You may not see them if you don't have a sensor on your ship to be able to sense them. Orbitals are space stations, star bases, um, and outposts. The nav marks are where you have combat instances, then the jump lanes. So, oh my gosh, your life is really, you have a full, okay, give me a minute. Alrighty. So these actually will go back down the other direction, so I'm not doing those just yet. So I'm going to be flying to sign with the rest of them. So, give me just a second. So you're going to put it in a bowl and you're going to let the sink water run for a little bit so it's hot. And you're just going to put like maybe a fourth of a cup of hot water in there. Yeah. And because you want it soupy but not soup soup. So you may not need a whole fourth. So just add it slowly and then add a little bit of honey. Because my cats are bougie. I don't know judgments. They're good. Yeah, they're bougie. They need everything super super nice. My You would never know that I rescued them from the streets because their demands. I have Gizmo, who's the younger, and she will not eat any type of wet food unless it's made into a gravy. She will not eat any type of treats that are crunchy. She wants the lickable treats. Then you have S'mores, who's the older, who doesn't really care for pate, but she'll eat it if it's all she's got. Left. And S'mores, she's my investigator. She's got to make sure everything is when I'm cooking and when I'm doing dishes, she has to investigate it and inspect it and make sure it passes code. That's who she is. Yeah, I know. I was talking about you. So we are almost into sign where we're going to go over the storage crates. Just because I'm going to put all of the um, commodities that I already have, I'm going to put those into storage crates so then I have them all in one spot. So you guys can see how that works. You can also slide storage crates into the ship. Eventually, you'll be able to take items, put it into a storage crate, put it into your ship as long as you've got the cargo space. You can fly into space and you can drop it. So if you need to transfer something from one person to another, that is a way to do it without money involved. Obviously, it's in space. Anybody can steal it, so you want to make sure that before you drop it, so the person who's supposed to be picking it up is right there. Just like a squeeze. Stir it and then separate it. Got 45-ish seconds left. So it's been a long time since I've organized my commodities, so it's going to be kind of a hot mess. Hot Mess Express. That is my code name. And you'll notice that space stations are a lot bigger than outposts. So they're huge. Star bases are massive. So pulling up to dock. And I'm gonna refuel. Okay, and I'm gonna go to hold and I'm gonna go there. All right. I'll need to pick this back up when I go. I must have missed that one. So I'm gonna go down all the way down here. These are all commodities that I've made. So I'm going to put those over in there for right now. And then I'm going to go down here and I am going to do the single commodities and I'm going to actually move them up into here just so that I can see easier what's going on. And then I also have a lot of commodities are on the market just in case Lures needs them. So I'm going to move this from the ones I have first, and then I'll check the market. So basically, these single commodities, I have this one. So for any commodity that has less than 10, I call those single commodities um, because they're ones that it's only one batch. And I wait for it to get a little bit higher before I put them on the market. So all of the different icons are the different looks of where they're produced. So now with this empty, I could close it, but I'm going to want to put things in it later. So I'm going to go and I'm going to I'm going to create a new storage crate. Um, and then it's going to go down here and it's going to be storage crate and empty. I personally wish that it would be at the top, but you know, they're alphabetized, so it's fine. So you can delete them, you can expand them. I like to change the name first. You click on the name to change it and then you can type it in. So I'm going to type this commodities to distribute. And that's what I'm gonna call it. And then it goes and alphabetizes. So it doesn't know what's in it yet. All of these have the scan icons. This has a commodity icon because that's what was last in it. Um, this has the refineries in it for that specific colony, but you'll notice that it opens up and it's separate, right? So I can have several little storage crates open all at the same time. Okay, so storage crates are great for organization. The fact that you can have many open and you can move it all around. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to look up and the first thing I'm going to do is I have a separate spreadsheet that I type all of the stuff that I need down. So I'm going to go and alphabetize it really quick. And so one of them that I need is AGI. I do not have AGI. So we'll go next to the next one, Assemblotrons. I do have that one. I need 44. I have 24. So I will need to make 2 batches. So I'm going to put in here 20 instead of 44 because I know that I need to make 2 batches of them so that I will have enough. And that way I'm not wasting resources. Now I could go ahead and make 5 and then have leftovers that I could put on sale. But as you could see, this list is pretty massive already. So we're not going to do that. Brainwave, I have 9. I need 36. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to change that to 3 batches. So I'm just going to put 30 in, even though it's more than it's not 30, but it's less than 30. It's less than 30, but more than 20. So yeah, they're in batches of 10. So that's how I do my math. Sounds complicated, but it works in my brain. Core Seeker, I don't think I have any of those. I think I used those in my last big hullabaloo. Data scopes are actually done elsewhere, even though I think I have some. I don't. Okay, good. Datasphere frames, do not have those. Ecosim units, I have 3. I need 36, so that's not very helpful. So I will probably just leave those in my single commodities. So, funding systems. Okay. Heavy harvesters. Okie dokie. Hollow map. Nope. Macro. Nope. Okay, we're gonna leave that. I actually had that cooked, so we're gonna put that over in the single. Alrighty. Modular control. Okay, modular control systems. We're going to go ahead and put that because that's only one left and I need a lot more than that. So then when I finish distributing, I will go and put the ones that are single. And then once this hits 10, they go back over and then I try to put them up for sale. So next gen management. Nope, next gen logi. Way too many different next gens. We have management units, we have sound systems, we have logibots. All right, pathology. Nope. Policy. Nope. Processing. Nope. Rock miner. Yes, but not many. Okie dokie. Tactical C3. I have 10. I need 43, so that actually is going to go there because then we need 40 on that one. Alrighty. Okay, so that's all the ones I have. So then I'm going to go through my list really quick and see which ones are less than 10 and go ahead and move those into that box before I close it. So, well, actually, yes. Okay. Advanced, advanced, and you want to make sure that you are fully in your box because otherwise it'll put it in your other um, storage crate. So when you have more than one open, you got to make sure that you're very cautious about where you slide it. Alright, we're getting there. Good Lord, so many of these that I could sell. And I just leave them up so then when Lors needs commodities, he can look there first and then subtract it off of what he needs, and then he can tell me, hey, I need another batch of this. And then I will sell him by the batch rather than exact numbers that he needs. So if he tells me he needs 45 of something, I'll sell him 50. And then he can decide whether he wants to hold on to the extra or whether he wants to post them for sale. That's totally his call. So it's kind of how I work with this stuff. Now, when I'm trying to clear out my storage, I will sell them in rando numbers. But when I'm selling into like a specific order, you get them by the batch. And then if you want to recoup costs by selling them afterwards, that's on you. Mm. Mhm. All right. Now that I've moved my singles over, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to close this one. Now I'm going to move this out a bit. And I'm going to go into the market because I have a ton in here that are So I'll just hit my listings. So then it like takes away all of that. That's crazy. Um, then I will go by name. So that way it's easier for me to see. So I see that I have 21 for sale. I need 35. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all of that. And then it will kick it back um, into my warehouse. With that said, I lose like the posting fee. You pay a fee to post it. If you take it off the market or I mean whatever, you lose that amount. So um the thing is with these, I price them so cheap that there's not that much of a fee to post them. So it's for me, it's not that big of a deal. So then I'll just use it. So the assemblatrons, I don't have any more of those. The brain, don't have that. Um, core seeker, don't have that. Um, nope, nope. Funding systems, I do. And since I have one that's a huge amount and one that's a small amount, I'm going to go with the small amount first to to knock it off because otherwise it's going to kick off that 415. Learned from the last time that um, it is best to post them in small batches so that way if you do need to take them off, you're not losing a whole lot of fees. So that is just my lesson learned. So I'm going to put on my funding systems that I don't even need to cook those because I have them all. Hall map. Uh, nope, nope. All right, Logibots. I only have 5. Need a lot more than that. So there's that. And simulators, 12. So that'll help go towards it. No, stop thinking. I'm working here. Thank you. Okay. Um, mm, and any task links. Okay. So that was all the ones that I had on my list that I have also. So now I can go into the hold and go into here and then I can move them over. So I'm going to drag this back over on the AGI. Uh, oh dear, hang on. Oh, okay. Oh, that looks amazing. Okay. I'm going to go here, go 35. So I will need to make 20 of those still. And then on my assemblatrons, where did that go? Why did that not go in there? What happened? Where did did it not move? Did it delete? What happened to it? It's not there. There they are. Okay. Okay. So we were just commenting about this being a casual game. Sometimes there are minor panic attacks, okay? All right, we're good. We're fine. Everything's fine. So we're on brainwaves. All righty. And core seekers. Nope. Okay, so that's the full, and that's the full con. That's the full. Then I think next. Okay. So I'm still gonna need next gen there. We're still gonna need that many already. Um, so we'll need 40 of those instead. There we go. Alrighty. Policies. That's gonna drop us down to only needing 4 batches instead of 5. That's nice. So, tactical. All right, so this is actually going to stack on top, so it's actually 25, um, which is going to take us down to, I think I'm going to do 3 batches just to be safe on that one, because that one comes up a lot. So, and then everything else. All right, so that is my commodities to distribute. So now I can leave that there, or I can come in here and I can, where you see the volume is only 2,000, so it fits in this ship. So I will, down here, I will just take this entire thing. Oh, not that entire thing. Where's the other one? There it is. That it's even less. So that just slides right over there. And then I can undock and take it. So what I'll end up doing then is now I will go into my my colony that I have all of the commodity production flat packs. Which why the hell is this negative now? Because this is still on there. Urgh. Okay, sorry. Um, I don't know if it's been fixed or not, but FYI to testers, if you put commodities in your colonies, at least as of last night. You put the commodities in, and it says that workers have left. So just a heads up that that is something to keep track of. Right now, my contentment index is back to 0. It'll show that like, maybe it'll show that. I guess it won't. Um, I just gave him a pay raise to offset it, but just keep an eye on that. If it drops further than that, if you reach out to Paul, he'll make sure that you're taken care of and that workers don't go on strike. Um, the first thing that happens is they just stop working. Well, they go to discontent and then they stop working and then they can full on rebellion. Um, but uh, he's Paul and Rob are really good about catching that. So if they've not fixed that, I'll find that out later tonight when I go and start putting out the commodities. If that's not been fixed yet, I will just go and note it, and then I'll tell Paul and Rob, hey, FYI, I have worker problems. My my workers are getting really angry. Um, I don't even have this commodity supplied positive anymore, so I'm not even for sure why this one is negative because I've not taken any workers out of there. So I'll have the devs check in on that one because it looks like this should be yeah, I supplied commodities yesterday, so that's disappeared and that is reappeared. So we'll peek see on that one. But I have not had any of my colonies go into such discontent that my workers stop working. Keep an eye on it. If it's a bug that's caused it, make sure you reach out to the devs. So that's just a note for testers. Um, Normally, though, that supplying the commodities is nothing but positive. So I'm going to go in here. I have on my spreadsheet alphabetized the type so that it's easier for me to find. I have put in a feature request that I really wish that these buildings down here would be alphabetized instead of being like in rando order. Um, it would be nice to actually have these alphabet like ability to see them in alphabetical order. So this one I need heavy harvesters. So I'm going to go down here. You'll see that it only requires two of each of these. So I keep anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 of every type of mineral or resource that is required. Again, I have the recipes for every one of those commodities listed. They are in the website um, for in the resources section, the wiki and resources section. So you can, if you want to set it up like I did, where you have every flat pack of every commodity production, you can do that. And then the recipe, or you could even make a colony that is only producing one single type of commodity. So, like if you want to have an agriculture production colony and have several different colonies that all produce the different ones, then you know which minerals need to go where. For me, there's so many duplications that I find for me that having one colony and it just has one of each is is my is my sweet spot. That it, do whatever works for you. Or if you don't want to have any, you just want to rely on the market, then that do that. So um, I need 48 of them. They are produced by batches of 10, so I'm going to do 5. Each batch takes 10 minutes to make, which I guess it doesn't say here, but I know after pressing start, you'll see here where it says next batch in 9 minutes. So I know that I'm looking at about an hour's worth of work here, which is why I'm going to get all of this started. And then I'm probably going to pause this. I'm going to stop the stream for tonight just because I'm gonna bounce off and do some other things, and I have to run that errand. But I wanted to make sure that you guys saw how to use those storage crates or a way to use the storage crates, and then also how to do these commodity cooking if that's something that you're interested in. My next one is logistics. I do have a logistics over here. Hollow map units. You'll also see that like the hollow map units, when I put it in, they are for the high tech category. So while they're requested um, from logistics, they are for the high tech flat packs. Again, same spreadsheet that has all of the resources needed, all of that's on there. It's just in different sheets in that one spreadsheet. So just for your use, to kind of know how things run, um, and that's what I was talking about with those colonies that even if they're only a day or two old, they may start requesting commodities because the administration flat pack is a high tech um, in administration. So you may start seeing commodities being requested from other types of things. So I need 42, so that's again going to be a batch of 5. That's how all of these rando ones that get hit, and once a month I go through and kind of clean them all out. Um, so some of them I do not, just because, like I said, I'll hold on to them and sell them over to lures, or just put them up in sign for anybody who wants to have them, and then if I need them, I can pull them down. So, in the high tech, I don't have any of those that I need. Economics, economy, data sphere. Okay. I need 27, so that's going to be 3 batches. And then research. I need my brain waves. And I need 3 batches of those. And then administration block, I need my task link. And I need 3 batches of those. Now, some of these I have more than one of like a specific. So like manufacturing, I have three manufacturing types. I have four economy types, which is why I start them when I'm all the way in sign. And then as I'm running jobs and it finishes by the time I get up to that colony, then I will have been able to produce other ones, but I'm making money the entire time. So I get these started and then I go do other things and go up and finish them. Again, it's whatever works for you, right? Like you can make it work for you. You can have several. If you notice that you have a lot of them that require high tech, um, then have a colony that has more than one of those type of things. Like I'm starting to notice that economy and manufacturing seems to be a high hit on ours. So maybe I'd have a colony that literally would just be economy and manufacturing, and I just do duplicates. So, because each type produces, or each type of commodity has like 14, 15 different commodities under it. So, okay, engineering, nope, mining, yes, core seekers, and 4 batches of those. Then refining, I've already made one of them. I need the processing and 3 batches of those. Um, Defense, I need the tactical and 3 batches of those. And then medical. Oh, hang on, manufacturing. I needed to get that started. AGI and 2 batches of it. All right, now my medical. And I have pathology. Um, and 4 batches of those. Okay, so that is basically the commodity, how to produce them, what's all necessary. They do have a lot of duplicates. Again, here I'll show this really quick. Just so you can see what I'm talking about, that is, it should be available on the open resources. If my computer will play nice to me. All right. So this is the spreadsheet that is um, every one of the commodities over here icon so that you can see what it is, but it shows what requests it, what produces it, and then you can see, like I said, each one of them has like 14 to 15, but you can see exactly how many is here. So if you wanted to build just a colony that produces defense commodities, you'll need 15 flat packs for that. Um, so, and then down here, it's all of the different types of ingredients, right? So how many of each one requires it. So like 19 of them require the trans metals. So for me, having one colony with all of the different flat packs works. Ooh, hang on, I didn't want to show you that just yet. Okay, every one of the recipes is there, right? So everyone, there is over 200 different commodities. So this is a very extensive spreadsheet that has been done for you guys. And then on the flat packs, we do have some flat packs that are not in game yet. the Infirmary, Machine Shop, Market, Orbital Defense Command, Service Drone Relay Hub, Shipyard and Hangar, and then the Trading Post. I do not know what industries they have yet because they're not in game. We only can see the blueprints, or not. Yeah, we can only see them in the list under flat packs in the market. So if you went under the market, you would see um, you would have the different types um, under the subtypes, but they're not in game, so they're not a you can't buy them yet. So um, although I don't see them anymore unless I'm blind. It looks like they took them out. Okay, well, so I have a few flat packs on that spreadsheet that are not in the game anymore. They're not even listed. But I have a feeling that they're coming. Um, so uh, that is just something to know when they're in game. Then we'll do that. My reactor course. Okay, this is new. I absolutely love this. It is now set to the minimum number so that you don't blow your budget. You can. I'm going to be buying all of them because they are mine. They're a private sale. They're not available to anybody else. Um, so, but were there any questions or anything before I end my stream for tonight? Um, like I said, I will probably be back later streaming, but it's going to be a different game that I'm testing. That's in I'm in beta test. Actually, let me put up a different graphic. There we go. So that has the website. So if you guys are interested in being a tester and you're watching and are not a tester yet, go to the outerempires.net website. You can register there, and then join the OE2 Discord. Make sure if you even if you are a tester now, if you have not done so, if you like the game, put it on your wish list for Steam. Let Valve know that we like it and we want it. It'll kind of help expedite things. Um, but otherwise, yeah, are there any questions or anything before I wrap up tonight's stream? We kind of covered a lot um, of random things because I needed to unwind after a long day of work. So I am not seeing any questions. Hang on. Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. We did have a cool question. I'm hoping that you're still, well, I don't know if you're actually watching the stream or not. I'm going to answer the question here, but then I'm also going to text the answer to this player. There are four career paths: the trade, industrial, building, combat, and it says all of them are combined. Does this mean you pick one to focus on and still get the benefits of the others? So yes. Um, but you'll end up needing all of the career paths in the end for the skill points. So you get your skill points by leveling. The ideal way to do it is to pick a career path that you're interested in. Um, and that'll be how you get your skill points to start with. Skill training, there have been a lot of comments that were the same as what several of us made in Alpha 2 and 3, which is we feel that the train time at the very beginning is pretty harsh, being anywhere between 4 to 6 days for that starting level. It's really harsh when you're looking at stuff that's only a percentage change and it doesn't really help very much. So a lot of that is kind of weighing the pros and the cons unless things get changed on that type of aspect. Um, but leveling at the beginning is really easy. So when you pick a skill like a direct path, say with the whether you want to do the cargo or whether you want to do the industrial or you want to do the military path. Once you start leveling those up, you'll want to use the skill points in that path. So since leveling to 10 is fairly easy, um, I have been telling pilots to experience all three paths up to like level 7 to 10ish, right around that right around that range, because that gives you a really good feel, especially with the military. The missiles don't come in until you unlock that ship, um, that can really combat the missiles, because you need the armor and you need the proper plating and sealants and all of that sort of stuff, to defend against missiles. And that really, the engine cap is a struggle point. So that's a big thing, um, which is why I kind of say the 7 to 10. It really kind of depends on what you're looking at. But when you do that, you're going to have 3 points to start with. But if you take everything up to say even just seven, that's 7 times 3. So you have 21 plus the 3. So you have 24 points that you can start working with. And that gives you a really good standing point. So you'll be able to get the benefits. So let's say you want to be in you want to do credit grinding. You can pick the cargo, but level up everything, and you can start having the 24 points to start going into the self-made millionaire, the entrepreneur, the stuff that helps you get more jobs, or you can have the stuff that has bigger cargo space. Um, they have the stuff that's for the trader. So if you're looking at wanting to go into trading, you can do all three paths, but then you start really spending your points. So you can pick one to focus on, or you can like experience all three, but put your points into just one, because you are limited on the number of points, but you will end up needing to play all of the different tracks to start with. So I'm gonna try to type that up. It's kind of a complicated manner. It's a big thing. The big thing to remember is you just can't be a jack of all trades. That's the key takeaway there. So hopefully that answered your question. Like I said, I'm going to type that up. So um, if there are any other questions, feel free to drop them to me. You're welcome to ping me in Discord. You're welcome to send me a DM. Um, that's always there. I will be doing a long stream on Saturday because Lors and I just hang out and game Saturday nights. We just don't do anything but OE2 on Saturday nights. It's our time, so I stream that. Um, so if there's anything that I haven't touched on that you want touched on, if there's something I touched on but it was too fast for you and you wanted something more in depth, let me know and we'll cover it on Saturday when I don't do anything but sit and game. It's my downtime. So otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Um, a subscribe, a follow on Twitch, YouTube would be a blessing. It gets my name out there. It gets OE2 out there. I will be. Everything is saved on YouTube past lives. So if you saw something and need to see it again, go to my YouTube channel and you can see it there, in the past lives. And then I record everything and try to make clips out of some of it that would be fast that I can put up on Reddit or Facebook as well. So, yep, I think that's going to be it for me for tonight, at least for now. If you guys want to see me play a different game, give me probably about 45-ish minutes and I'll be on a different game that I'm beta testing. Alrighty. So I hope everybody has a great night, and those who are in the stormy areas, I hope you're staying semi-dry. And those of you who are with me in the heat dome, we've got a couple more days left. Bear with it. Summer is upon us. So have a great night, and I'll talk later.